It's Salvaje. I'm back with another Fortnite Save the World discussion video since I'm currently working on my 25 soldier tips video. So be on the lookout for that, guys. It's going to be out pretty soon. So my supporter creator code is Salvaje. If you want to rock that, I would highly appreciate that. With that said, let's get straight into the video. I want to talk about one of the biggest problems that is plaguing Fortnite Save the World. Not only at the lower levels of play, but also at the endgame levels of play. So let me break it to you guys down like this. I have my second account, and my second account is in Plankerton. Every mission that I get into, about 80 to 90% of the time, sometimes 100% of the time, there's going to be an AFK player in that mission. And if there isn't an AFK player, there's going to be a leecher. You know, someone that goes into a mission to do his daily challenge for V-Bucks or whatever. Someone that goes into the mission to just farm, and he doesn't really do anything at all whatsoever, right? So that's basically the experience in Plankerton and the lower levels of play like Stonewood as well, right? You're just going to be a player in Stonewood and Plankerton, and you're going to try to complete your mission, and basically you're not only just going to complete your mission, you're going to carry your team most of the time, because there's a lot of players at the lower levels of play that don't want to contribute. They don't want to upgrade the objective. They don't want to build around the objective. You know, they just don't want to help towards the mission competition at all whatsoever. And the truth is, this isn't really much of a problem at the end game, at the lower levels of play, I mean, because you know, at the lower levels of play, I don't mind carrying my team. It's really easy. But what about when we get to Canny Valley? What about when we get to Twine Peaks? A lot of the high-end Twine Peak players have been very vocal in the Fortnite Save the World subreddit because they are experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing. Sometimes as Twine players, we go to these level 100 plus missions, and we literally have to build about 90% of the structures, upgrade 90% of the structures, and place a ton of traps because we have teammates that don't want to contribute to the mission at all whatsoever. The reason why this is a big problem in Fortnite Save the World, it isn't because of the players, it's because of the system. Save the World has a team rewarding system. So if you don't contribute to the mission, you're not going to get penalized for it. If you're AFK, you're not going to get penalized for it. That's why Save the World needs, and like absolutely needs actually, an individual rewarding system. An individual rewarding system is the only thing that is going to drastically improve the AFK problem, and an individual reward system is also going to be something that is going to also drastically improve the leecher and the player that isn't doing enough problem. Now, Epic Games, they like to talk about their reporting system, right? Oh, you know, we're always punishing AFK players. We're punishing players that ignore the objective. And to put it bluntly, I don't care. I don't care if they're punishing people or not, right? I mean, for the most part, I've reported so many AFK players, and I've never gotten a thingy that says that they've actually been punished, right? And the reason why most of those players have probably not been punished is because they only AFK for about 2 to 3 games, and then they don't really do it anymore, right? Because maybe they decided, hey, it's a good idea if I AFK for 3 games in a row because I don't really want to do anything, and I don't know, like I want to take a shower while I'm playing Save the World, right? If we had an individual reward system, these types of players would also be gone. But I just want to point out also, I don't care that Epic Games is punishing these players, right? I just care about my gameplay experience, my own gameplay experience. And what I want from my gameplay experience in Fortnite Save the World is I want to be in an environment where my teammates actually help me towards completing the mission objective, and that is of course to win the mission, right? I want to be in an environment where I'm not going to have an AFK player, and if I have an AFK player, it's because the AFK player basically went out of his way to meet the threshold that he needed to meet so that he can get the minimum amount of rewards, and then he can go AFK. If there is a minimum amount of things and a specific threshold that every player needs to do to get the minimum reward, then that's going to drastically increase AFK players, because now AFKing actually takes effort, right? If you put effort into AFKing, then some AFK players are going to leave, and again, AFKing is going to be drastically reduced. Now you're actually getting punished for not doing anything at all whatsoever. So that's why I think that an individual reward system would massively improve this AFK problem. But what about the leecher problem, right? Again, so many of you Twine players have been writing on my comment sections how you hate it that you have to upgrade everything for your team. You know, I've literally had games that are missions power level 140, 160, sometimes I just have teammates that they don't build anything. They don't put down any traps. Guys, I used to have about 600 oxidized mineral powder. Now I have about 98 oxidized mineral powder because I always have to build the traps for my team. Right? One of the best ways to play Save the World is to actually have a friend of yours play with you, so at least you know that your chances of beating the mission are somewhat okay. And sometimes what happens is you and your boy are actually building everything, right? And then the other teammates, they don't really do anything to build. They don't place down any traps because they just say, oh, let me just let all of these people do the work and I'm not going to be doing anything instead. If there was a specific threshold, again, that these leecher players and these players that don't want to do anything had to, you know, actually reach to get a specific reward, then they would actually be more enticed to place down traps or what's this thing called, you know, place down traps or maybe upgrade a couple of structures. I've also had missions in Twine, like, you know, 4-time level 76 missions, right? Or 4-time level 82 or 4-time level 94 missions, right? Where I literally have to build everything. And if a player actually builds something, he usually just builds you know, he just builds the structure and he doesn't really upgrade the structure all the way, right? So again, it's just them doing the bare minimum. So how would an individual reward system work? Well, the truth is, it's not something that is going to be coming into the game from one day to the next. I don't think it's going to be coming into the game in a week or maybe 2 weeks or maybe a month or 3 months. But the truth is, I care about the longevity of Fortnite Stw, which is why I'm making this video in the first place, right? You know, I don't know, maybe next season or maybe 2 seasons from now, we can get this individual reward system and Save the World can go free to play, and us hardcore players and the newer players don't have to worry about leechers and AFKers. So how would this individual reward system work, right? Let's talk about the solution now. So in Fortnite Save the World, there's a combat score, there's a utility score, there's a building score, right? And of course, there's also the overall score, as you guys are seeing in this screenshot in the background. Anyways, here's how my individual reward system would work, and in the comment sections below, you guys can actually, you know, break down this individual reward system, the good things about it, the flaws behind it, why you would like it, why you would not like it, you know, just so we can brainstorm on this individual reward system and maybe Epic can polish it for us, all right? So, tier 1 to 6 chest rewards are still going to be a thing in the game, right? So let's say that you complete a mission in Stonewood and you get a tier 4 chest. Well, to get a tier 4 chest, you need a total score of about 1,500, for example. And that's pretty easily obtainable because all you're gonna have to do is basically just kill Husk, right? And let's say that you didn't meet the threshold of 1,500 points in total. Well, instead of getting a tier 4 chest, you're going to be getting a tier 2 chest, for example. Let's talk about the end game though, right? Because a lot of you guys that are watching this are probably in the end game. So how an individual reward system in the end game would work, it would go like this. Let's say that you're doing a level 160 mission, a mission where you definitely need players to, you know, collaborate and actually work towards the common goal. Well, let's say that we get a tier 6 chest from a level 160 4-time Atlas mission. To actually get the rewards of that tier 1 chest, you need at least 1,500 building, 500 utility, and a combat score of about 2,000, for example. Or you need at least a total of 5,000 total points so that you can get the rewards of that tier 6 chest. If you have a total score of about 4,000 total score, then you get a tier 5 chest, right? Or let's say that you get a tier 3 chest, right? The point is that to get the maximum amount of rewards, you actually have to contribute, otherwise you get penalized for it. If the game doesn't have ways to punish the player for not contributing to the mission, then that means that players are just going to keep doing whatever the hell they want. Players are not going to collaborate. Players are not going to cooperate by putting traps and building trap tunnels or building funnels, right? And I'm sure that a lot of Save the World YouTubers might come across this video and they want to make their own version of how an individual reward system. Yeah, you know, go ahead and do it, all right? If you're a Save the World YouTuber, you want to make your version of how an individual reward system would work, or your own reward system would work in Save the World, just go ahead and do it, right? Because as a Save the World community, we need to solve this problem, right? This problem of AFKers and leechers, players are not contributing enough at the end game levels of play, right? This problem needs to be exterminated, and I think that, you know, the threshold mechanic, this individual, you know, system that I sort of have in mind, I think it would work really, really well, right? Let's say that you're in a level 160 mission and your total score goes up to, you know, if you didn't reach a total score of 1,000, you're not going to get any rewards. If you reach a total score of 2,000, instead of getting a tier 5 chest, you're going to be getting a tier 3 chest, right? Again, this system is rewarding players that are always going out of their way to upgrade structures, putting you know, their base up and all that stuff, right? And another thing that Epic can just do is, if you complete level 160 mission quad atlas, for example, and you have the most building score, well, you get 50% of the materials that you basically spent in the match back. So a lot of the materials that you use for traps and materials that you lay down, you basically get them back. Or another solution that Epic can do is they can just drastically increase the materials that you get from farming in Twine Peaks on, you know, by every zone. So instead of getting 60 wood by breaking a tree in Twine Peaks, I would be getting 500 wood for breaking a tree in Twine Peaks, right? Or I would be getting more tier 5 and tier 4 materials from expeditions, for example. We just need a system that rewards players that are willing to put in that extra effort, and we need a system that punishes players that are not helping towards the end goal of, you know, what's the thing called, completing the mission, right? We need a system that punishes players that don't really go the extra mile, because at the level 100 plus missions in Twine Peaks, right, if your teammates are not building trap tunnels, if they're not placing traps, you're going to lose the mission, or you're going to struggle big time in the mission, right? So that is why I think Save the World needs an individual rewarding system. I think it would improve the game drastically. It would also solve a lot of the big issues that the game is currently facing with AFK players and leechers. And quite honestly, I think, again, this rewards players that are putting in the work and that are helping, and this is also going to inspire players that don't really, you know, put in the work or get through with the minimum amount. You know, the players that are getting through with the minimum amount, they're going to say, well, I'm actually going to contribute to the mission now because I want to be getting the max rewards from the mission instead of the lower rewards of the mission. And even if there are players that don't want to contribute because they always want to meet the minimum threshold, at least we know that we are getting more than them, right? Like, we are getting our materials worth because we're going to be getting the high amount of reward. And of course, there's a couple of flaws with Save the World, like the rewarding system is sometimes not really fair. Like, if I do a Twine mission that's level 100 plus, I shouldn't be getting 20 out of the storm. I should be getting about 60 out of the storm. But of course, that's another discussion for another day. This video, I just wanted to focus on how an individual rewarding system would help out Save the World drastically and tremendously. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below, and be on the lookout for my upcoming Fortnite Save the World guides. Trap Mastery is also going to be coming back pretty soon, and Save the World University as well. See you all on the next one. Peace out.